Do you have any problem?
Hi, welcome to my lab. Today I decided to try something different. I took from my parents' house this ceramic doll. She's quite aged, she was in our home for over a decade. Her braids are sun damaged and rubber in her skirt is too loose. In other words, she needs a makeover. This makes her perfect candidate for today. It would be really fun to play with some other canvas than Monster High. Okay, so let's undress her and see what I can do with her. Her body shape is interesting. She has got a very thick neck and reminds me of certain nice young men who love sport, baseball bats, and are willing to know your problems.
Do you have any problem?
Anyway, let's move on. Her hat is glued on with hot glue, so I warmed her head with my new heat gun. It was melting her hair, but I didn't care about them because I wanted to remove them anyway. Actually, removing this hat was one of the hardest part of this repaint. This thing was stuck firmly on her scalp, but finally I got it. Then I took acetone and removed her face to get clean canvas. And she's even more creepy than before.
Do you have any problem?
I was little scared of her face up because I never paint on such small object. Here you can see how tiny she is compared to the regular Monster High doll head which I was working on at the same time. To prepare them for repaint, I took my airbrush and sprayed them with my X-Refactamine 239 Transfection Enhancer tool. Dura Clear Ultra Matte Varnish labels. I started with contouring her eye sockets and nose with light brown pastels to make her face more three-dimensional. Then I used light pink on her lips, cheeks and forehead to give her some healthy blush. Next, I moved to contouring her whole head and body. I was mostly focusing on her gigantic neck, trying to smooth it as possible because this is the main thing which makes her look like this.
Do you have any problem?
To be fair, she was quite problematic for me. Her face and body proportions are way different from these which I am used to. She practically don't have ears, nor distinguished knees and elbows, and I am not even talking about her neck or this gigantic hole in her head.
Do you have any problem?
Also, there were few places which took pigments differently, and I am not sure whether it is due to my sealant or this surface. On the next layer of sealant, I started drawing her face with watercolor pencils. I went easy way or lazy one, depends on how you look at it, and give her closed eyes. Sorry folks, I am not ready for draw such teeny tiny eyes. Also, I am really sorry for the camera angle and that you have to look at my work through my so terribly dirty glasses. I had the same issues with my Autumn Girl last time. I didn't look at the footage of this Rochelle head paint job, but I'm pretty sure that it will be the same, because I worked on her at the same time as this ceramic girl. I have to work on my setup. I wanted her to have a glow, so I covered her whole face and body with generous amount of yellow gold Arteza Mica powder. Don't be afraid to put a lot, sealant will do most of it. And after sealing, she looks like this. Off camera, I painted her eyelashes with blue metallic paint and her face up is done. Time for her outfit. Her body shape is pretty unique.
Do you have any problem?
And there is not so much of patterns which would work for her. Her previous skirt was good in hiding these problematic areas, so I decided to use it as a pattern for a new one. Off camera, I prepared her this simple 3-layered skirt and sewed it to the tulle strap, which served as her top. Next, I glued to the skirt these golden nail art decorations. And here it is, outfit done! Next step, hair. I prepared these yarn wefts which I glued directly to her head with hot glue. And you cannot see it because I was off screen. Although you lost nothing because result is poop and I had to do it again. I had problems with her head hole, so I covered it with Magic Sculpt, and now she looks like Pope Francis. I gave her also this small loop thingy, so I can change her into Christmas ornament. Okay, back to the hair. I have this nylon scraps from my blue alien doll. She was made from Abby, which hair was in great condition, and now it's time to reuse it because their color suits my pink girl perfectly. I took all-purpose Elmers glue and started to glue the hair to her head, starting from the bottom. Result is not perfect, but slightly better than before. Also, I was thinking that hair will cover this whole white pop cap, but it is still showing through. To hide it, I decided to glue some flakes to make her hollow. Yes, I am going for an angel doll. When I was a teen, I was collecting angel figurines, so I thought of making myself another one. Okay, now it's time for the last but not least, wings. Off camera, I did this out of Worbla Thermoplastic. Then, using Epoxy Sculpt, I sculpted individual feathers and attached wings to her back. When it comes to the backside, I went for the different approach. First, I sculpted individual feathers and left them to dry overnight. When they were ready, I glued them to the wings. For finishing touches, I sculpted some flocking. Now I just have to paint them white and she's complete. Well, I could use Magic Sculpt since it is already white. As a very last touch-up, I created string from these two embroidery threads. Recently I watched I Can Do That DIY doll repaint where Nick did string for his doll purse this way. It reminds me that I was braiding a lot of these when I was in school. After putting it through loop on her head, she's finally done. This was really fun and fast project, however it took me so long because I was procrastinating so much on her wings. My next doll, this time regular Monster High one, is not ready, but I am working hard on her. So what do you think about my little angel? I think that she turned out really cute even if her base was pretty creepy.
Do you have any problem?
I hope that you like her. And this is all for today. See you soon. Bye!